We're on, dogs. All right, here we are, guys. Podcast episode. I got no idea.
I think
But
18 now.
How many?
18.
18.
That's
fucking
18
hell.
weeks,
Oh.
and then you got all up would probably be like 20 weeks.
Yeah. Oh well. So what episode? 18. So
Nearly
on
half a yeyear, Blue.
Fucking hell, man. That's not bad. Oh, fucking. We got our boy Lee Jenkins in the house.
Back at it again.
Yeah. Lee Jenkins, aka social justice warrior.
Yeah, that's me. That's
Putting his social justice skills to the test. Recently, apparently there may be a Netflix episode coming out.
If it doesn't make Netflix best vice.
Yeah. Or at least magistrate court, you know.
Yeah. We won't go into too much details. We'll be
yeah.
giving out.
Yeah,
You
not
need
yet,
to
not
make
yet.
you need to make it on the inside media.
Well, that's what we want to do. That's what we'd love to do.
I
But,
like to see the behind the scenes, man. I want to see the work.
I love it. I'm
his
backing
homework.
him. I'm backing him. So we won't dive too much into
Yeah.
it. We'll, you know, I mean, we'll let more digress.
We'll be letting the
Well, actually,
opposition.
he's had a few battles and he's won them lately. He took on the SA Power Networks and he won that one.
Yeah.
Have
yeah.
they changed the media yet?
No, yeah, they're coming out to change it to
Yeah.
get rid of the smart meter and
What's
put
wrong
in.
with the smart meter?
Oh well, it's been the remote part of the smart meter, the thing that makes it remotely accessible, is it gives off an electromagnetic sort of frequency that is detrimental to people's health, and it's there. The studies are there for you to go and see. It causes inflammatory markers in the body, causing many health problems for people, but people don't know that they're going through it because you can't feel it, you know. But it's like basically being radiated.
Radiation, yeah.
And also not only it's an invasion of privacy. If you ask me, I mean, they know when you're in your house, what you use and what lights you turn on when you're sleeping with your missus. You know, why do you want to know?
Okay, no. How do they know when you're sleeping with your missus?
Yeah, because they can access access
frequencies,
this
yeah.
thing.
Mate, imagine that. If your missus could download an app and tell you when you're sexually active.
I know.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
I'm
That's
sure
scary.
there's a way to do it.
Fucking hell.
Like your body will probably give off signals.
Yeah,
Probably.
You
Probably.
know, when you get a hard on, it tells you. You get like a notification. Ding.
It's got a percentage
Yeah.
and how hard it is. Like
80% hard.
80%.
She messages you.
You motherfucker.
You better drop that percentage, motherfucker. You're like, shit, dog. Straight down to zero. Well, let's jump into some MMA talks here. We had the UFC yesterday. We had Michelle Waterson against I forget the
Who
woman's
won
name.
that one? I wanted to see that, but I missed that one.
Rodriguez.
Did she win?
Yeah, she ended up winning. It was
Oh.
a really good fight, man. Really good. I watched it this morning after training, and it was a tough fight, man. Like back and forth. That Waterson with those fucking side kicks, man. She's got great kicks, man. She uses her legs very much like her arms. Didn't have much in the boxing department. That Rodriguez, or as they call it, Rodriguez, was very just come forward, man. She'd take one and just give him straight back like a fucking real motherfucker. Like she was setting up these combinations where they were like just all coming around the guard, like big hooking combinations, and then just wailing on Waterson. She sort of got beat up pretty good for the first 3 rounds, but then Waterson achieved like a really good takedown, held her down, beat her up a bit, and in the last landed this fucking side kick, and I hit her in the jaw, and her jaw was out here, this Rodriguez, but she was tough, kept coming forward, ended up winning the fight on decision. I thought it was a good fight. Also on that card we had Donald Cerrone. He returned. He fought Montoya. What was his name?
Alex Morano,
and it was just, I mean, as an MMA fighter, whatever, Donald, do whatever you want to do. As a fan of the UFC, for instance, he's got to pack it up, bro. He's old. He's washed up, man. It's, you know what I mean. I know that sounds harsh, and people take it the wrong way.
He's already come out and said that he'll be back.
Who, Donald?
Yeah,
Donald
man.
Cerrone,
He
yeah.
just he just loves to fight. So
Right, his record is what, 36-16.
yeah.
Well, that's a lot of fights, man.
He's had
Yeah.
a lot of fights.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, look, the issue why I believe he should pack it up is because like that fight there was just very one-sided. Like very, that guy just was chasing around beating. Yeah, he landed a decent body kick early on in the first round, but I think after that it was just like
It's like he
Morano
loves getting
just,
beat up, eh?
Yeah, but then
just-
the next fight he might do like an Arlovsky and come back and look.
Yeah,
look
that's
good.
it. And I know I know we spoke about that on the show before. You do need those sort of guys on the card. You know, on the roster. You need the guys that can take the fights, be a bit of a journeyman. And unfortunately, I believe that's where Donald's at now. It was a pretty one-sided fight in my opinion, and he ended up finishing him in the first round TKO, referee stoppage. After that, they had the Neil Magny Jeff Neal fight. That was a good fight, very back and forth. Jeff Neal just came off a loss against Wonder Boy, and I'm pretty sure Neil Magny just come off a loss against Chiesa, where he got out wrestled. In this, he was just it's his work rate. Neil Magny's work rate, man, just doesn't stop. Fucking just keeps punch, kicking, and yeah, he just ended up beating Jeff Neal just by pure just output, just couldn't stop, kept coming. So he won that fight. Then you had Maurice Green and Marcos Rodrigo de Lama. De Lama just literally just kept
De Lima.
man.
The Lima's, is that the one who beat Venom Page?
No, Douglas Link.
Oh,
He's
Douglas
in
Link.
Bellator.
Yeah,
These are heavyweights in the UFC. It was just pretty much lay and pray, just laid all over him, beat him up. Green really had no idea how to get out from underneath. Because it just comes to me, I'm like, how the fuck do some of these guys make it to the heights of the UFC?
I know.
And you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, there are guys who can control you on the ground and beat you up, but some guys, like, just can't do it. It's fucking useless on the ground. Like, I don't know. He was very, very average,
But
that guy.
even when you look at it in the heavyweights, there's a lot of top level guys that still have big holes in their games. Like obviously Francis Ngannou showed that he had a big disadvantage in the ground game against Stipe the first time round. So maybe the heavyweight division is still a bit behind. And then slowly, in the near future, you might start seeing high level heavyweights come in, like Stipe's. You will start seeing more Stipe's. You know what I mean? Whereas Ngannou, if he touches you, that's it.
Yeah, but he can wrestle now.
Yeah.
But another thing that I will say to your point, I agree with what you're saying, but I'll say to your point to add to it is, I think a lot of the big boys in those higher divisions, like, imagine how hard it would be to find Francis Ngannou or a guy to wrestle with.
Yeah, no way.
Like, imagine someone who's as big and strong. Like, he could probably find a couple of 205ers who'll wrestle him, but he needs like a big, near 300-pound man to work with him. To realise how to wrestle. Because imagine being, heavyweight and, you work your whole career with light heavies, maybe one big guy who plays a bit of gridiron or something. Then you get in and you fight like a high level grappler.
You were ever in the States?
Yeah.
Did you ever see many wrestlers that the size, like heavyweight size?
Well, that's why I bring up that point, because even at our gym, it's such a strong, well-known lot of guys there. We've got a very small heavyweight sort of group, you know what I mean? You got, Linton, and you got Big Steve, you had even a guy like, what's his name, only came in for a little while, Rosenthal. There's probably a couple of other big names that I like. Even what's his name, the big 7-footer, Stephen Struve. It's a smaller group. Like for instance, our group at 155 to 170, it's stacked, man, stacked. And we got all sorts of body types. You got the wrestler guy, you got the kickboxer, you got the boxer, you got the cardio guy, you got the strong guy. Well, what I'm saying, heavyweight, sometimes you're limited to who you can work with. So maybe that could be a reason why they're a bit far behind the ball. But I agree, heavyweights are a lot slower at progressing.
Yeah, because when you listen to Ngannou's story, he started off, he wanted to do boxing. He wanted to get into the sport of boxing, and his coaches and people around him were saying, "Why don't you try out MMA?" And he tried it out, and he made he got offered $500 to fight an MMA fight. Yeah, fought his MMA fight, and then he won, and he started getting success. Yeah. And then he literally, just through his striking, took him to the UFC and took him to get a title shot.
Could you maybe even say this, in terms of heavyweight MMA, it's a lot easier to get away with things? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a lot like you can get away with age, you can get away with fitness, you can get away without being able to wrestle. But, you know what I mean, in as you and I were talking last week, you watch those lighter divisions, the bantamweights, the fight literally goes every single
down,
way.
Up, on the cage, down, up,
it goes into a full submission style game, to a wrestling game, to a striking game, to a kickboxing game, to jump off the game, back to the ground. Where heavyweights...
It's like you're playing a video game.
Yeah. Where heavyweights is like, we're going to stand in front of each other. Don't you take me down, I won't take you down.
Yeah,
we'll just hit each other every minute. We'll throw a punch. Yeah.
Like Teddy Atlas says, everyone in the heavyweights got the eraser. It doesn't matter what skill sets you got, as long as you got that.
When you got 4-ounce gloves on and you got fucking, a whole bunch of ass behind you, man, you throw those punches, someone's going to sleep. Yeah. So that's why heavyweights are, a lot of people tune in to watch those fights, because they are very exciting. People want to see knockouts. Personally, I do enjoy a knockout, but at the same time, I'd rather see a higher skilled fight. And speaking of that, a very high level fight that I watched yesterday was the Diego Ferreira fought Gregor Gillespie. Good fight. Very, very good fight. Diego was able to achieve success on the ground in the first round, and was really dominating Gillespie. And Gillespie, we know, he's just coming off still from that knockout loss against Kevin Lee. Big head kick knockout.
Wasn't Gillespie meant to fight?
He's meant to fight Brad Riddell, but got pulled out because of COVID. So Gillespie, this is sort of his first fight back, and he got what happened to him in the first. He done exactly back to Diego on the second, but Diego couldn't handle it. He just, once again, it was just a war of attrition. He just out-wrestled, and Diego just literally was like wet sand. He just couldn't get out, just kept everywhere he'd go, look to get out. Constantly, Gillespie was shutting him down, and then ended up finishing with a ground and pound from his back, spread him out, pounded him out, ended up winning the fight. So that's good to see Gillespie back in the winning column after that brutal knockout. And then the fight in the main card was Sanford boy Phil Hawes, who's doing some work, man. I swear we've talked about him. Of 18 shows, I reckon we've spoken about him at least 5 times. Phil Hawes from Sanford. Like, he's doing some work, man, and he's winning. So he is a guy in that middleweight division that people got to keep an eye on, man. He's fucking dangerous, man. So
what's his record?
Let me just double check. He's got some quads on him, bro. You'd be jealous. With your fucking
You both.
Bro, I fucking deadlift 150 today.
Yeah, but you still got
Bro, I fucking deadlift 150. I was happy with that today, I'm not gonna lie.
What, one?
Nah, 3 times. And 2 sets of it.
Should have done 3.
You fucking asshole. I'm trying to find him.
Who, Phil Hawes?
Yeah. Found him?
Say something, Hawes.
Is this in the UFC? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Where is he?
Is he a wrestler type?
No, he's more of like he's an all-rounder. He's a kick 11-2.
11-2.
11-2 record. 32 years old, 6 foot. Trying to see if his knockouts. UFC. He's got 3-fight win streak. One win by KO. He's had 3 fights. He's had
3
fought in
fights
October,
since
fought in
last
February,
year.
then he fought again in May. So he's been doing some work. And he's doing a good job. So keep an eye on him, guys. If you're looking for an up and coming fighter, Phil Hawes he's a threat to anyone in that division. Moving on, I guess should we move on or to the upcoming?
No, I'll go to Bellator, I reckon.
And then we had also on Friday or Saturday afternoon, mid morning-ish Australian time, that is, or Friday night in America. If you're in America, we had the Bellator on. We had Archuleta versus Pettis was the main card. Let me just get the actual fight card up. Where is it? Let me just get it up. So on that card we had Michael Venom Page returned, and I don't know if you see it. Did you didn't see it?
Oh my god!
He looked good.
Caved this dude's nose
literally
in.
caved
Oh, I
this guy's
seen
nose
that. In fact, I didn't see. I seen the kick. I seen the highlights of the. And the
credit.
and the aftermath.
But you got to give a
The aftermath.
credit to Derek Anderson, man. Like, he didn't fucking flinch, man.
Nah.
He was like, he kept going at him, didn't stop, bro. And that would have fucking
hurt every time it got touched.
He snapped the bone, bro.
And not only that, like as soon as he kicks you, you're breathing straight away.
Yeah.
That's compromised.
Yeah, you're
He'll
breathing
be
out your
fine,
mouth
but
now.
Bang would have hurt him.
Yeah.
Adrenaline, he wouldn't have felt it that much because the adrenaline would have still been kicking, and he would like, why can't I breathe?
Yeah.
Oh, this can't just caved my nose in.
That was, and he really, Derek Anderson just had no answer for Page. No answer. Page is, he's like, and he says it really well. He goes, when you fight me, there's just no one you can bring in who's going to replicate me. How are you going to train for me? You can't. So,
well, Lima done pretty well against him, and I hope that comes back again so we can do it again, because fuck that Venom Page, even though he's a quality fighter, I hate he's disrespectful, man, and he deserves it.
What sense?
Like the way he goes on about after his wins, and the way he goes on
I just think he's a
and
flashy
throws his
flamboyant
Pokemon
guy.
balls and fucking talks his shit.
He's the equivalent of
This is
of
my
an
opinion.
Yeah.
And it's
He is like
that
Bellator's Adesanya.
But before we move on,
But Adesanya's respectful still.
No, I know what you're saying with you, Rick. It's his flamboyant way of showing himself. But just quickly, because let's move on, because Venom Page is a good fighter. You're just being
He is. I respect.
Nah. Okay, fair enough.
I admire his
I'm
skills.
gonna lie, some of the
Brit
shit
as
he
well.
does with the hand and stuff's a bit cringy, but I think he's a cool guy. he backs it up. He knocks people out. He was fighting bums for a while.
Yeah.
They were giving him a whole bunch of cans and he was just beating them up. But Derek Anderson has a decent record. I don't really know who he is as a fighter, and he done a real good job. But just quickly, do you have anything to say about that? But quickly, fuck, man, I would love to see Michael Page versus Adesanya.
Yeah. That'd be a good fight.
Is Page at
Adesanya's got
180?
him though.
I think Adesanya beats him too. No, he's 170 and
So he'd have to go up.
But anyone from Lima to Anderson to Israel Adesanya or Michael Vernon Page, those three would be amazing fights.
Yeah.
I'd love to see any of those three fight each other. Would be a very, very interesting fights to watch. So moving on, we had the light heavyweight Grand Prix continued. This is still an opening round. The last fight of the opening round, which was supposed to be Rumble against Yoel, which we're all fucking spewing about, man. That was like Kong vs Zilla. They're saying
and last week there was a lot of questions being asked. Why haven't they released?
Yeah.
What was wrong? What happened? Because even when we talked last week, we said it. What's the problem? What's the issue with Yoel Romero? You signed this guy, all right? You know, everybody should know his history. Was it PEDs? Was it he's something to do with his eye? Is it his back? Who knows? Like, just come out and say it.
My next thing is I'm thinking such a multi-million-dollar organisation like that, smart people. Like, are we not testing him medically prior to signing him?
Yeah.
I personally think that Bellator has just signed him, and not even signed him, said, here, but just come with us. You're not even going to fight because we probably can't even get you medically cleared. But you just keep telling everyone that you're going to fight for us. And I believe they're building the hype up.
And build the Grand Prix up.
Yeah, yeah.
So now, I was invested because of Yoel. Yeah. But now it's like, well, I know it's still on.
Yeah. We might have lost 30-40%, but we got 60% who ain't going to watch. You know, because I'm still watching it. Yeah. Even though Yoel's out, I still watch the fights.
And now the semis, I'm so ready for it.
Now you're back for it. I know what you're saying. So
haven't they rescheduled the Rumble, John?
They're after.
Speaking of that, he's going to come back maybe, but Rumble's got to go through the whole Grand Prix now. So who knows?
But didn't they say regardless of it, they're going to reschedule that fight?
But that's all they say that all now.
I read an article that said they're maybe going to do Rumble. They're maybe going to see Yoel against someone else. So.
I'm just saying, get Yoel cleared and just throw a wild card in and get him in there.
Just throw something like 155 in there.
What was wrong with Yoel? Like, what did they say was wrong?
Nothing.
Well, he's about 75 years old.
Hey, if he's 75, then he's a motherfucker, man. Tell you right now.
What did they say that was
on that Canelo meat?
They just said it's just a medical suspension. They haven't.
That's what we're saying. They've come out with nothing. They said we couldn't medically clear him, and no reporters come out about it. Why? That's why I'm saying. Like, how did they not medically check him? And if it was some medical issue, why haven't they said it? Well, I don't know. Because you know they'd be getting a lot of heat from the media. People be asking.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, to the fight, he fought Jose Augusto, and Rumble was too good. He got caught in the first. He did get caught in the first and dropped. And I don't know if you've seen the interview with him. He was saying he was spewing. He was like, man, piss poor performance. I shouldn't have been dropped. Respect to him. But, fucking I got dropped. I shouldn't have been dropped. But sort of not happy about it. And not only did he get dropped, if you watch the fight, Augusto actually breaks his right hand like very early in the first round. And it shows it too. Like, he hits him a few times like, fuck. Like, shaking his hand. Anyway, fight goes on. Johnson gets into the second and just fucking puts his lights out, bro.
That was a bomb.
Yeah, that was a big shot. Rumble's back. It's good to see.
And he looked like a gorilla when he's
OG Rumble's back. So that's good to see, man. Exciting signs, man, for the gym and also just for the whole entire Grand Prix.
What I found interesting after was Henry Hooft. I can't remember what he said in his post. I don't want to get anything wrong, but it was something on the whereabouts wasn't the performance that they were looking that they were after. A bit shaking off the cobweb sort of thing.
Yeah.
But got the job done. So pretty much saying that wasn't Rumble's best.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Rumble getting caught was, like he said, it's poor performance, man. I shouldn't have been hit against him. No, he shouldn't have dropped me. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's exciting. But who's he got next?
Nemkov.
Nemkov. It is Nemkov. So
and I've been reading, like I'll go through the comments a lot because I've never watched Nemkov fight before. If just probably highlights, and everybody's saying Nemkov's going to school him.
Yeah, school him, you reckon? We'll see, man. We'll see, because, I mean, in Bellator, I'm trying to think who Nemkov's fought. I mean, has he ever fought down with the power that Rumble Johnson has?
Well, he's a champion, so I'm assuming.
Okay,
he's
fair
probably
enough.
fought
He's the
who's
champion, but I'm talking Rumble Johnson's a special character, like a special
He's
individual.
got power, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just serious.
And the only thing that really beats Rumble is really if he can get out wrestled. And you know what I mean? We'll wait and see, because Nemkov can wrestle, but you know what I mean? Is he not?
And if he does wrestle, like, that's gonna take the power right out of Rumble's shots.
That's why he does lose fights, is because he gets out wrestled a lot of the time. But you know, Rumble is a very good wrestler too. He's competent and he's got serious power, man.
He's TKO'd Ryan Bader.
See, Bader's not known for power. Bader's known for wrestling.
Felipe Lindsay's now in the UFC. TKO'd. I mean,
he beat Phil Davis twice.
Did he?
Davis isn't known for knocking people out. Yeah,
Davis is quality though.
Yeah,
he
beat him twice.
He
beat him for the first round of the Grand Prix.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, so he went through.
he's fought Prochaska before.
Prochaska.
The UFC guy.
The one who knocked out
last week in the UFC, Reyes.
Oh yeah,
He fought him in Ryzen.
Did he beat him?
No, he lost. TKO.
There you go. See, power. Yeah. So, who knows? We might see Rumble Johnson take the title off him. So wait and see. I guess I'll be excited. Well, I guess we'll talk about that when it comes up. Another fight that was on the card was Patricky Pitbull, which is Patricio Pitbull's brother. He fought Peter Quiley. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Quiley, and I thought Patricky was winning. I thought he was doing a great job, and then he took him down late in the second, and Quiley landed 3 downward elbows on him while he was in his guard. So that's it. Quiley, Patricky took down Quiley. He landed 3 elbows from the bottom, and he hit him on the third one here. Blood everywhere. The round finished, and the doctor called it off, said no more. It's over. Yeah, I found that very strange. I didn't think it was that bad of a cut, personally. I was really surprised when they called it off. I was a bit like, I didn't see that coming. So that was weird.
Even when you're in guard, because I saw it on Instagram, the elbows, because there was one illegal one that I did see.
Well, I don't think it was illegal, because they're saying that the top of the head's fine.
Oh, it is fine.
Because only from what I was watching from the broadcast, John McCarthy was saying these are all legal elbows.
Because didn't Anderson Silva get disqualified for using that one from guard?
I'm pretty sure you're allowed to. No, but you're allowed to hit anywhere on top of the head. You're just not allowed to hit the back.
The back of the head now.
Yeah, the top of the head's fine. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I should know. You know what I mean, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but I just found it very strange, because the disappointing thing on Patricky's side is that I thought he was clearly winning the fight. He dominated 2 rounds, and then to be stopped for a doctor's stoppage, you know.
So
what I mean?
he was stopped.
Yeah, the doctor said no, you're not going into the third. I know. I thought that was a bit shit.
Yeah,
but then personally, it wasn't like right over his eye and blood was going all. It was just like here. It was a lot of blood. Yeah. But I was like, I don't see how that's a stoppage. You know what I mean? I at least would let him go in there.
Yeah, give it another crack.
Yeah.
And if it gets any worse, then stop it, you know.
Yeah,
but give him the benefit of the doubt now, you know.
But from what I heard from the broadcast, they were saying that if you can't stop a cut before the round starts again, then they have to stop the fight. I don't know.
It's just a Bellator rule, is it?
I don't know. I just heard that.
There's just always too much these rules now. I don't know what's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all across the board.
Yeah, that is shit. Yeah, about all the different rules and different like organisations. Knees in the ground allowed, knees aren't. This is allowed, that's not. It's very tricky. You know what I mean?
Because then when you go back into training camps and that, and like if you just say you got training partners from all across all different promotions, and when you're on the ground, you're fighting a ground opponent, you're allowed to throw a knee.
Yeah.
But the UFC, your UFC training partner can't.
Yeah,
so it's like, well, can I throw this pretend knee?
Yeah, because if I need to practice,
are
you going to be like not expecting it? I catch you with a big knee in the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It is strange. I mean, I wish they did come up with some unified rules, but MMA's the organisations are all at war of who's trying to get it. So they're never going to come. They're purposely going to actually keep separated and make different rules on purpose, so they can be the outlanding one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's ever going to unify. So we'll wait and see. And then the main event was Archuleta against Pettis, which is Anthony Pettis' brother, who come over from the UFC, and he ended up taking the belt off Archuleta, which I thought he was winning. I thought Archuleta won 1-2, and I think it was I think it was 1, 2, and 3 that I thought he won, and Pettis sort of came home stronger. But they ended up giving the fight to Pettis in a decision, which is that's good for Bellator. They're bringing over there like these big names and they're performing. I thought it was a really good fight, very good back and forth sort of fight. Interesting to one to watch. I was watching it with your brother last night, Rick, and yeah. So that was sort of the events that were on this weekend. Then the other event that was on was PFL. PFL was back in Australia. You can watch it Friday morning, so it's on Thursday night in America, free on YouTube. And there was a controversial one. I don't know if you've seen it, Rick, with Fabricio Verdun. Did you see it?
No.
So Fabricio was fighting a fucking monster of a guy from Brazil, and Fabricio hooked up a triangle on him, and the guy, like, it clearly looked like he tapped. Like, it was clear. And then the ref never seen it, and this guy just ended up pounding the fuck out of Fabricio and ended up winning by TKO.
And what happened at the end?
I didn't notice what happened. It wasn't until I seen it.
With the highlights, you see.
Until I seen on Instagram his interview, and he was like, "Man, he tapped. Yeah. He tapped, and I let go, and he's hit me after the bell, and yeah, then I don't really know what's happened. I don't really know.
I've seen that happen a few times, and they went back on the decision before.
I don't know. I've never really.
They didn't have the review.
Pardon?
Did it go to review? Because don't they have the instant play?
Not that I've seen any news or anything about it. I mean, I just seen that happen. That Fabricio said what he said, and then that was sort of all.
Because the UFC now, they look at the replay if there's a controversial call.
Yeah, I know that the UFC do that now.
I remember the first time I ever seen that just on a domestic level in Liverpool. Like this kid, it was a amazing scrap. This little stocky Manchester kid against the Liverpool kid. So a lot running on it, and they were just fighting the hearts out. The Manchester kid was punching his head in. He was getting the better of him. Went to the ground. Guy got a triangle. He tapped.
Yeah.
The Manchester kid, the Liverpool lad, let go. And Manchester just started laying into him. Ended up going the full 3 rounds, but the kid was like, "You tapped." The Manchester kid got the decision at the end, but then it went to like review, and it got changed. Yeah, got changed.
Yeah. I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you, you know what I mean? But it's hard because what do I say mid-triangle? He's tapping, then it all ends up breaking apart. And then they stop the fight, check. And then what if I'm wrong and he never did tap? What do we do? How do we start again? There's definitely something that needs to be done about it.
Should the referee kind of step in and call a review?
Yeah, it should. I think so. I think that should happen.
But then what?
Like if let's say you get to win a triangle, they tap, you let go, they carry on fighting.
But that's the weird thing, because in this scenario, he didn't actually let go. Like Fabricio sort of kept it on, and then was sort of like, it looked like, that's why you didn't notice it, because he sort of looked like he worked his way out of the triangle. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was, and then he was getting hit. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like Fabricio
So he
hold
kept hold
of it. You know what
I'm
saying?
Yeah, but that's different then.
You know what I mean? But then at the same time, he's saying he didn't hold it. He goes, "I sort of let go."
Yeah.
So it was a weird one. It was very strange. What happened? I don't know what they actually ended up doing. PFL. So I haven't heard nothing about it or seen nothing about it. So I'm assuming they just let it be what it be. You know what I mean? And it is what it is now. So, but also on that card they had Kayla Harrison, who I think she's a 2-time judo Olympian. She's the champion for PFL. She fought Marina Moraes maybe. She won first round. Then also Muhammad Usman fought Brandon Salves, which is obviously the brother of Kamaru. He unfortunately he got submitted. He got choked out.
That little chunky one. He's a little mush.
Who?
The Usman.
Yeah, he's big, well, not a little. He's fucking massive.
Yeah,
he's huge. Also, no one else really on that card that was worth really mentioning. There was some good fights. There was a really good knockout from who was it? Yeah, this guy here, Bruno Zala or something. Fucking hell, Rick, help me out. He got a first round finish, which was pretty good. He just fucking come out flying, man, just swinging for the bleachers. Ended up finishing his opponent, which was good to see. And yeah, that's sort of all of the international sort of MMA news that happened. I mean, you boys obviously want to probably dive into your debate that you've been going about all fucking day. We had Billy Joe Saunders against Canelo Alvarez, which was for the, what belt were they fighting for?
All of them.
All
yeah,
of the,
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, the
So
unified.
the which division?
Super middle.
Super middle, and yeah, you had that stopping in the eighth round
Yeah.
with just a huge uppercut. I thought it was a pretty good fight.
It was a competitive fight.
I mean,
look, from the start, I thought that I said Canelo was probably gonna win. You know, even if Billy Joe did get the upper hand or did look good, like they were never gonna let him win that fight. You know, because I think there's too much politics and money involved to allow someone outside of Canelo's little immediate team to win. You know, because that's what it's like in that sport, as we all know. But look, I personally think Billy Joe was doing really well. I had him up maybe one round after the seventh, just because he just started coming into his own. He found a rhythm and he was doing well. But then obviously Canelo was coming on strong, and he was looking for those big shots. And you could tell those shots were, he was packing a lot of power in them shots.
Oh yeah.
You know,
fucking hell, man. Especially these ones to the body.
yeah,
man.
exactly. And he didn't throw a lot. He didn't waste a lot.
Yeah.
But the shots he landed looked like they would breaking,
Well,
breaking
they
bones.
did in
They
the
did
end up
in the
breaking
end,
bones.
But me personally, I mean, give credit where credit's due. I just can't accept Canelo for the fighter he is, because I personally believe that he's on peds. You know?
Yeah, he's definitely not definitely, sorry, but he's been caught. But yeah, I mean Canelo, to me, you going in to fight a guy now that he's not even gonna knock you out. He's literally gonna crush people's
crush
bones.
your bones, take your muscles off the joints.
Yeah, he's like, what does it take for someone to go, I think he's cheating? Like, does he have to kill a man?
Yeah, well, that's where it's gonna
Is
get
he gonna have to kill someone? Until you fucking assholes, I'm looking at you,
Yeah.
you and your Latino community go, fuck, he just killed somebody. Oh, bro, he's crushing people's bones, like tearing muscles
He's crushing
off bones.
faces, literally.
Yeah, like,
What
he's doing is, and he's 5'9".
Against super middleweights, light heavyweights. This guy's a natural light middleweight, super welterweight. He's naturally probably around that weight. He can move up and down, but he's only doing that because he's got to be getting some help somewhere, and it's not from like natural ability. It's
like you're saying. It's like, if he was going up the weight classes and outboxing people, okay, he's just an intelligent boxer and he's, using his smaller stature to outwork a bigger man. But he's going against the bigger man and destroying the bigger man.
And he's going in
bullying him, breaking him.
Not only that, like Kovalev, like Golovkin, well-known, established knockout artists, people who can bang hard, and he's eating their shots.
Yeah.
Like, no one does that.
Yeah.
No one, not unless you're on something special, not unless you're on something special.
No one since, I haven't seen no one since Golovkin landed that many shots on Canelo, like Saunders did. So I'll give Saunders credit there. Saunders did make Canelo work on the weekend.
Yeah.
But when you guys talk about, he's a natural 160. He was a natural 160. Mm-hmm. He's under a new frame now. He's not a 160. He's he's got a stockier build now. Just like how John Jones is doing it, moving from light heavy to heavy.
Wait a second. John Jones is planning on doing it.
Oh yeah, he's planning.
Wait and see. What do you always get? What's always your
Rumble Johnson from, was it 155?
Yeah, okay. He killed himself to get 170. He killed it, and he never really made 170.
All right, but that's what he was doing. And now he's in
now
this light heavyweight, and he is.
Yeah, but that's because he used to kill himself to get the 170.
Yeah, but he was still a lighter frame. He was still a lighter frame back then.
He wasn't.
He's a light heavyweight. He is every bit of a light heavyweight now.
He didn't have the knowledge of being a performer.
He is every bit of a light heavyweight now.
No, he's not.
Bro, look, did you see the size of him on Bellator on the weekend? Yeah. The guy's every bit of a light heavyweight.
But he's always been a light heavy. He was never a 170. He just killed himself to get there. It was silly, and even he'll admit it. That's why he had to leave there, because he was too big. That's
Jared Cannonier.
Okay, but that was a big guy going down. No, did he go? Yeah, he went down. He went from heavy. He went from heavyweight down.
Yeah, he was down.
Blue, you got no argument.
But I'm saying guys are reinventing themselves in a different frame size.
Agreed.
Coming back in a different.
We're not saying that he can't reinvent himself. We're not saying he can't move up.
Because if you wanted,
is he doing it clean?
If you wanted a 160, go up to and fight a 168, which we saw Adesanya try to do a lot to go up and still trying to stay in the same
struggled.
frame. He got fucking scored in his size.
Not
so
scored, he just got beat.
Tell me this. John
By a
Jones goes
naturally
out
bigger
there.
man.
John Jones goes
but
out there.
Canelo knew, and John Jones is going to do it the same. He needs to build that frame size to go.
This question.
And
John Jones goes out there and ices Ngannou in one round, just powers him. Are you going, what's that cunt on? What's he on? Are you going John Jones?
But we don't know. But we don't know.
Especially when he's been caught before.
What if John Jones goes out and he shoots him for a nice single, takes him down using good technique?
Okay, that's my point. But that's exactly what
see, we're making assumptions here.
But what I'm
we're
saying,
going back.
but what I'm saying to you is, if Canelo moved up the divisions like a Mayweather and a Pacquiao and outbox people, I'd be like, yeah, he's a smaller guy. He has to outbox him. He can't go up there but he's going up to these massive guys and beating them in their own game.
Breaking faces and detaching biceps.
You guys are talking about like this guy is a super mammoth and that. Dude, come on.
That's the thing. He's 5'9" and he's fighting like a super mammoth.
What's his fucking...
I haven't seen heavyweights do the damage he's doing.
What's the guy's name from Liverpool? Rick... the one that he fought, he caught him with the body shot. Not... Rocky Fielding.
Rocky Fielding,
yeah. Rocky Fielding fought a smaller man fighting small.
Yeah, but Ricky... Let's not put that fight. He's shit.
Rocky Fielding's a good fighter, but he's coming up against a drug abuser. You know, he's coming up against someone on performance.
Canelo is a very talented boxer. I love watching him. He's one of my favorites. He's a gangster. I love his style. I love the way he fights. Oh, bro, he is a fucking cheat.
Look, there's case studies and there's everything that shows that in Mexico, athletes have been done before with traces of clenbuterol in their system from eating Mexican meat.
No offense.
It's not only Mexicans. It is not only Mexicans, and it's other athletes that go and train and compete in Mexico that happen to eat this meat as well that have also tested. So it's not only Mexicans.
I love Mexico. Like, my brother's a bit Mexican in him. He's got a whole bunch of different... He's Mexican. There's no one in Mexico that is a fucking high performance athlete, all right? Because they're all about fucking 3 foot nothing. They're fucking undernourished. You're telling me they get meat over there, just the average meat.
That makes them Superman.
You know, it's different.
Gives them the ability to crush.
How many Mexicans do you know?
Give me clenbuterol and I'll go fight 168ers as well.
All right.
And I'll go. And apparently I can crush them.
You'll have a better chance.
Yeah.
You'll have a better chance.
Hey, you might not have a chance now, but with the clen, you may have a chance.
Listen, Canelo is obviously...
He's been really riding that one as well.
He's obviously... Look, for me personally, I've boxed since I was from the age of 7. You know, I've grew up with many fighters, people who can bang hard, people who are technically gifted, people who are super fast. I've watched it from a very early age. I've never seen someone be able to do the damage that Canelo's doing to not people on his weight level, but like higher weight levels, naturally bigger, stronger men.
Could I say this as well? You got a guy like Francis Ngannou who's recorded a record like hard hitting punch in 4-ounce gloves. Can't even do the damage to people that Canelo's doing in 10-ounce gloves. And they're bigger than him.
But Ngannou nearly threw over him's head off back into...
Yeah, but did he break his orbital?
But did he break his orbital? Like, what about when fucking Terry Adam got a spinning head kicked against Barbosa?
Yeah,
not one break.
This
guy's hitting you with
Cosmo Alexander and Sage Northcutt.
Okay, yes, all right, but there's outliers
4-ounce gloves.
Yeah. 4-ounce gloves. And Cosmo Alexander was far bigger than Sage Northcutt.
Yeah, but then you got another thing is... Saunders dipped into that. He
dipped away.
Look, don't get me wrong. There's freakish outliers when people can really Venom Page with the nose, Venom Page when he needs eyeball. But this guy's consistently just dismantling people,
destroying bodies.
Like what does it take, SA? Like a dead body? Come on, man.
And not like, come on. Like what happens when someone dies in the ring?
Yeah,
look, then they've got blood on their hands.
They've
got blood on their hands.
It comes out and Canelo says, or a regulating body says, now this man is juiced to the gills. I will eat my words.
Vada
came out and pinged him. Wada revoked the decision.
Why?
And now he has a
clean record
again.
Let me explain why, because this is a good one, because they tried to use this one against me in an argument that we've had previously.
It's been on all fucking day.
So WADA are they're the competing drug sort of commission, you know, and this is the ones that, you know, Canelo using that now, because obviously they're probably more corrupt and they allow, you know, they're a bit more lenient. But the reason why, apparently they exonerated Canelo from any wrongdoing from having Clen in the system, but the reason why they exonerated him is because they upped the threshold of clenbuterol allowed in the system. That's fucking corrupt. I'm sorry. That's corrupt as fuck. What do you want me to say?
But at the end of the day, and it's still happening to this day in Mexico. People are dropping in the hospital because of the contaminated meat, because clenbuterol increases the muscle mass of animals,
why would
so they can get a larger yield of meat, so they can make more money.
Okay, but why? But clenbuterol is a fat burner. It's not really a muscle builder. It's a performance enhancer.
It states there,
and
the facts are there.
Another thing
increases the yield of
why
meat.
did Triple G say after the first fight he had injection marks all over him?
Because Triple G wanted the rematch.
But he got the rematch.
And he got it.
He got the rematch. He won that. Well, he won. That was a much closer fight than the first one, but the first one, Triple G definitely won. Anyway, that's another subject. But Triple G said, look, I seen him, he had the injection marks all over him.
Triple G
it's
salty.
not right.
He's
It's not.
sour.
It shouldn't be done.
Another thing is too, he's just going in there and he's fighting all these different weight divisions, and he's just on the.
He's cleaning up,
bro. He's fighting like every 2 months, just destroying people.
Like, what about his recovery? Why is he recovering so easily? Like, I know, being in training camps, my body's fucked after fighting and shit like that. Like Tony's the same. Like, we come out in fucking cold sores and all that shit. Your body goes through a major stress, you know.
When did he fight last?
Canelo's fighting every other week.
Two rounds with him, didn't he?
Who?
Yildirim.
Yildirim.
The Turkish guy. So that was light work, nothing. Whatever.
No,
you get out of your fight.
Didn't it go like 4 or 5 rounds?
No, for sure.
But still,
it was real quick.
But still, he's still sparring, he's still training, he's still doing all his things. And mate, his recovery is way too quick for me. You know what I mean? For me personally, like he's got to be using. And look, it's just gonna be like the Lance Armstrong thing and the cycling thing. Look, it comes out years down the line.
If it happens, I'll eat my words.
I'm a drug cheat.
Well, we heard it first. But I mean, Rick's, I guess, and also his brother, they're never gonna understand because they just
bias. They let the bias dictate
also purely because they're in it for entertainment. They don't care. See, me and you, we take to heart the drug cheats if they are drug cheats because it affects us.
Yeah, because look,
I'm fighting Canelo. I just got called. Tony, you're gonna fight Canelo. What would you say?
I was, bro, look.
Good luck.
Yeah, but Rick, what could I do to beat him?
Huh?
PDs. I've got some PDs.
We'd start looking at how we can do it.
No, but look, this is like, I'm with you, Tom, because
like Tyson,
people fucking train their asses off clean to have a first shake of the dice. Do you know what I mean? Jump in there, give their heart out to fight fairly, and motherfuckers like this are coming in the ring.
Look, we can
and
all
destroying
speculate. We
their
can all
face.
continue to speculate. All right. The day it comes out and it's in concrete, hard proof, then I will eat my words.
The warning signs
Till
are there.
this day,
if you don't want to see the warning signs,
Rick, you reserve the right. Yeah,
I appreciate the spectacle that Canelo has around him. The fact that he pulled 73,000 people to that stadium in these times. The fact that when he landed that shot and he knew Saunders was hurt, and the way he was rallying on the crowd, it just, to me, it looked like it was like a fucking movie. And as a consumer, I fucking love that shit, and I'm going to continue to pay.
That's what I'm saying, but that's why I'm saying I don't think...
You're a consumer. You're not a true boxing, you know...
I'm a consumer.
No, that's why...
Critic.
Yeah, but you're more there for the entertainment value, and we're there for the entertainment, and also we want to see good fights. And unfortunately, we're unable to see good fights with Canelo because it's cheap.
Yeah.
That's why we get
upset.
That's
why I
upset.
get upset.
But you do reserve the right, and you do hold the fact that...
There's two sides of the fence.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why I don't... He gets irate about it. I couldn't give a fuck. I
give a fuck.
I personally think he's a cheat, and I
know why
I
Lee
give a
cares,
fuck. This is the sport I fucking love. I grew up on this sport. Motherfuckers cheating. I've got no time for that. I don't respect people.
Yeah.
I do not respect that.
Caleb Plant is the last, and then England has been conquered.
Yeah, fucking...
Caleb Plant's not English, though.
What is he?
He's American.
No, he's not easy.
Plant's English. I mean, American. The mover, he moves well. He's tricky.
Is he under Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, he's under Eddie Hearn.
Oh, that's probably.
Yeah, he's a quality fighter. He's quality, ability-wise. Again, I don't know how good he's going to be against, you know, a big banger. Can he move? He's got the skills to move and evade. Caleb Plant.
That fight has to unify.
Quality fighter. Quality, yeah. Ability-wise, quality. But not a big puncher.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants to smoke.
Yeah.
Boo Boo wants it.
I'd give it to him. But I don't think Boo Boo's gonna win, especially drug cheats. But I think Boo Boo's definitely got ability to, I always remember, because I didn't know who this Andrade was at the start, but I remember watching an interview with Keith Thurman when Keith Thurman was at the top of the welterweight division, like just killing everyone.
Is Andrade the one with the dreads?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he comes to Sanford. He
Oh,
come
really?
to the Hard Knocks a few times.
Oh,
I'm
does
pretty
he,
sure
yeah?
he trains under Corey Peacock, the strength and conditioning guy.
Well, I just remember this interview with Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman said, the last time I got my ass kicked in the amateurs was by Andrade. Like, boy, did I get my ass kicked. So I was just thinking, I've got to watch this guy. Then Keith Thurman saying, I've got to watch this. When I watched him, ability, stacks of it, skills, But yeah, his last fight was, lacked a lot of. It didn't stand up to his potential.
Right before the Canelo fight, there was a Japanese lad fought a what was he?
Soto versus
Mexican
Nakayama or Takayama.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that was the biggest bullshit call I've ever
Yeah.
seen in my life.
Now this is pretty bad, man, and it was.
I didn't see it. What happened?
It's almost like, all right, you got to. How old is that Japanese guy? Like,
He was 37.
yeah.
37, got a call on a month's notice. Said, will you take the fight? He was at a lower weight division. He said, yeah, I'll take it. Took the fight on a month. Fought this Soto, the champion at the time. Was he the champion, eh?
Oh, I think it was up there.
Yeah, and Soto was just expected to absolutely whitewash this guy. This Japanese guy come in, took some big shots, but kept coming. Like, fought similar to Calzaghe, just flurries, like consistent punching, moving away, constantly moving. Mate, I had him up on the scorecards personally myself, and he was looking good. And I think it was the eighth.
Yeah.
Was it the eighth round too. In that eighth round, the referee, he got caught with like maybe one or two shots, but not enough to, he was still in there. He was in the fight. The referee called it.
Yeah.
Stood in, and everyone was like,
I was like, what the fuck did he just do?
I know, ruined a fucking spectacle.
Yeah.
This could have been a spectacle. At
What
the
do you
end,
want? Unfortunately, no offense.
Lawrence
But
Cole,
even no offense.
the referee is called Lawrence Cole, and he is known for doing this shit.
And no offense, it's people like you that are the reason why this happens. No, it is because you allow the cheating to happen. People like you have ruined boxing.
But no,
allow it to happen.
It was
Yeah.
good because the Japanese guy at the end was shadow boxing saying,
Yeah,
"He looked
that was the
good to
best
go."
part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was that the Japanese guy just ran in the middle. He's like, it was just going on, and the crowd was rallying him on.
Yeah, everyone loved it. Even the Mexican
Yeah.
fans were cheering for this guy, and he was fighting like a Mexican, So,
That's sad to see, but no offense, I'm not being a prick, Rick, but it's people like you. You're the reason why these sports would
You
die.
allow
It's
this
these
corruption.
Yeah, you
commissions.
do. No, but you allow the corruption.
How?
Because you know in your heart of hearts, bro, that man is if you had answered me this question, your balls, I'm gonna cut your balls off, and we're gonna drug test Canelo. I'll cut your balls off if he comes up positive. What are you gonna do? You gonna take the bet or not?
No, I'll say it won't come up positive.
Oh, you lying son of a
All right, hey, if he
Hey.
You're the fucking
All right,
liar.
vice versa. If you guys can prove beyond reasonable doubt that if Canelo was to piss in this cup right here and it was to test hot and put your balls on the line, if it,
Mate,
I'd have to be with me, man.
well, you guys would
I'd
be
have to-
bowlers after that. Then
Come on, bro. Anyway, look, we could sit all day
Yeah.
on about it, but Canelo is a champion fighter, but also a champion cheat as well. That's
Yeah.
why he'll be always remembered as the
I
best cheat of
admire
all
his
time.
you
skills.
boys is
He's-
guilty until proven innocent.
That's
Which
it.
and he will
Fair
never,
enough,
and he will
which
never,
he has
and
And
it's
he'll
hard to
never-
prove
and
that
he-
when
and he will
the
never be proven
commissions are
innocent.
corrupt.
That's right. He's been
according to you.
found, which is fair, is already done for me. So he somehow weaseled his way out of it. So, but he's been caught.
So
and he's done.
you guys think it's a cheat due to an unfortunate situation?
No, he's been found to be a cheat, and then due to lucky situations, he got out. That's
Yeah,
more
by
what-
claiming.
Yeah,
this.
that's what happened.
Oh,
His
'cause
legal
the beef-
team stepped in.
Yeah, well,
He done an O.J. Simpson. He murdered a motherfucker and got out of there. He's like, yeah, dog, got a good lawyer, get out. He's He's a cheat, and he's a straight
Look,
up gangster, Canelo. You
and-
know that he is the cartel's fucking boy. That's what he is. He runs the fucking show in Mexico. No one goes near him. His brother gets kidnapped. He goes down there and sorts it out himself.
Yeah.
He's a gangster. They know.
But we all know the combat world is all run by gangsters.
Yeah, exactly. And he's one of the biggest and the baddest gangster of them all. And well done to Canelo. I love his style. I love the way he come out on the weekend. He came out with the mariachi. What is that what you call it?
Mariachi.
They had all the dancing and all that. It was fucking killer, man. The crowd was
But
crazy.
also, I've
when
got
he
to
was rallying
give
on.
Billy Joe props on his walkout as well, man.
I didn't see his
He came
walkout.
out walking out by himself,
Yeah.
and then he like turned around and walked back up, like dancing as well.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, boo, like booing him, and he was just
And he
like
was
loving it, and he
loving
was
it.
just dancing
Yeah.
and shit.
I
And then,
didn't see it.
and then Canelo went out, and Canelo took his time, and the mariachi band stopped,
Yeah.
and he done the walkout, the walk to the ring. with no music,
Yeah.
and it was just the crowd just losing it.
Oh yeah, no, I seen
That was
Canelo's
sick,
walk
man.
out. Fucking hell, man.
Like, imagine
Impressive.
how that man would
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. No, and the thing is,
And-
those
and what you-
Mexicans, they're so fucking passionate about their boxing.
And imagine that with
And
all those
especially
people
about
behind
Canelo.
him, their clan
Yeah.
behind him, and all that
Yeah.
power and
The
adrenaline.
Needles hanging out of his back.
No wonder he fucking detached that cunt's face.
Yeah, that's why he wore that poncho to hide his marks, his injection mark. You know?
He does have gangster ponchos.
Yeah.
Didn't like the color. Didn't like the one on the week.
That was
Oh,
a- that was-
D&G,
that was
come on, that was
D&G.
quality.
What was D&G?
Dolce &
Like
Gabbana.
Dolce & Gabbana?
That thing's
Man, we're Mexicans here. Oh, we're Mexican people, dog.
Yeah,
we're not
Mexicans
just selling
are
out
flashy.
to those dumb dagos with their Dolce & Gabbana.
ponchos.
Fuck that.
That's
We want
money
to wear
on-
some Mexican brand, man. You know, like Cleo Redes, man. You know what I mean? But that was a good spectacle, good fight. And like, it was just so good to see such a packed crowd
Yeah.
in that stadium in the times that we're in with this fucking bullshit fake virus.
Yeah.
So it was good to see that the Mexicans, they're like, let's go and rock
And
it
Eddie
out.
Hearn teased.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn teased that next week, the announcement, which I think is Tyson Fury and I think Joshua.
Joshua. Oh, I hope that comes
hope
about.
so,
I've been
man.
dying to see
Let's
that one.
hope so, that man.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. I guess we'll talk about some up and coming.
Yeah, I
news.
think there's not much really. I think Bellator's in 2 weeks. The UFC, I think there's the UFC event this weekend, I reckon. Not UFC.
Is what 262 is.
No, that's the week after.
Oh, so we've got the whole week off. No fights on. You're saying?
What are we, Monday? No, it's this weekend.
Oh, it is this weekend. Well, big card there, yeah. Friday the 14th, yeah. So it is. It is this week, yes. Has one got anything on?
That is a big card.
Yeah, that's the Chandler Oliveira card.
You got so Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. That's an interesting matchup stylistically, man. Because you got the guy that, the wrestler versus,
The grappler.
the grappler.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. I mean, it's really.
But then again, you got Michael Chandler that's got that bomb.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. They've given him a beautiful run to the fight, man. You gotta love it. For him, whoever his fucking manager is, I'd like to get him on board. One fight straight to the title, you know what I mean? So that's gonna be a sick fight. I mean, who you gonna tip there, Rick?
Man, I don't know. I'd
That's a tough one,
Yeah,
man.
it is. It really is.
That's a
Because
tough one.
Oliveira, he's good, but how good is he? Like, you don't know, because he could be even better than we think, or he could be just, good.
because his
You know what I
last
mean?
fight was Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he completely mopped the floor with him.
Mopped him, destroyed him.
But you got to remember what Tony Ferguson was that he fought against.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what
That's
I mean?
my point.
And then you can't really base it on anything because Tony Ferguson fights on this card as well. So
Yeah.
we haven't seen Tony Ferguson fight again
since.
after.
I
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
So it's almost
So
like,
that's
well,
what that was my point. More so, like, is he just a whole bunch of hype, or is he really that good? Now I think he really is that good.
Yeah.
But he's in such a great division. We'll wait and see. Chandler's going to be an awesome challenge for him. We know how good Chandler is. We know what Chandler can do. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Personally, I mean, I'm just going to tip Chandler because he's a Sanford boy, and I love Chandler. I'm a big fan of him. So I'm going to tip Chandler in that fight. What about you boys?
Look, it's a tough one, but it's very hard to call. But just based on advantages at the minute, with like height and reach, and ability, like I want to say Oliveira. Just based on that, but it's too tough to call. For
yeah,
me.
it's going to be very close. I got Oliveira. I feel like he's just got more tools. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. No, fair enough. We'll wait and see. Then you got Ferguson. He's back against Dariush. We'll wait and see. Like that Dariush, I don't know. He's a weird one, that Dariush. Like, I don't rate him, but at the same time, he's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a huge fan of him, but he actually is a quality fighter. And it'll be interesting to see where Tony Ferguson's at in his career. So that'd be a good fight. Then you got Jack Hermanson against Edmund Shabazia. Is it Shabazian? Is he the one that lost to Brunson? I'm pretty sure his last fight he lost to Brunson, so that should be a good fight. I really don't know too much about him. Then the other sort of good fight on that card, you've got Shane Burgos against Edmund Barbosa, who now Barbosa's moved down to featherweight.
Yeah.
He's gone all the way down to featherweight now, so I'm interested to see him there, see how much he can actually, how much of a Edmund Barber, Edson, oh sorry.
Edison, the one who
Edson.
the one
Don't,
who
that's spinning
yeah, he's gone down to featherweight.
Yeah, he's gone down to. I know. So interesting to see how
Wow.
far he goes. You got also on the prelim, you got Jacare de Souza against Andre Muniz. So that should be an alright fight because I rated Souza. I thought he was. Quick story about Jacare. It's a bit of history between me, him, and Lee. Lee once done a multi-bet of 20 fights.
I remember that.
Of boxing, kickboxing, and got them all right. He tipped against Souza. I was like, bruv.
No, it was Romero versus Jacare.
And I'm like, pick Souza,
Jacare,
bro. He's a gun. I'm telling you.
But I'm going to pick you out. I don't know, I was feeling the Cuban, that's because I just seen Cuba feeling that. And he's like, no, Jacare, I promise you, Jacare. So I was like, all right.
Ever since then, I've never given up. And
that was the only one that lost.
The only one that got, fuck, sorry, bro.
Like $3,000 I would have won off that.
But yeah, that one. So, and he was no offense to him. He's been a huge letdown in the UFC. He really has.
Yeah.
He hasn't been anything special. No other fights really to mention there that jump off the page at me. And then you've got the one championship, which is going to be on the Saturday night. You've got is this the full card? I've only got 2 fights. Oh no, here it is. Full bad. You've got the main event. You've got Brendan Vera defending his world title against the Indian Arjun Bular. Did I get that right? Bular. Then you've got a Muay Thai fight, the bantamweight division. You've got. Well, I'm not even going to say that. Against Sean Clancy, the second one, the Thai guy.
Sanchai or Tawanchai.
Yeah, I don't even know. There's a Muay Thai fight, the bantamweight division. Then you've got Killer Bees back in the atomweight. I think this is the atomweight. Is this the Grand Prix they're doing? I'm not too sure. Against Rutu.
Is it a girls one?
Yeah,
girls.
Pogut. And then you've also got, Anika Mura against Rayani Bastos in a catchweight, mixed martial arts fight, females. Then you've got, the other fight on the card is Mangat against Main.
Let me
This guy's just.
Well, come on, man. They're fucking hard names, man.
I know.
I don't read
Gadarshan Mangat versus Roshan Mainam.
How the fuck do you say that?
Gadarshan.
And yeah, so one championship are back with a heavyweight title on the line, which is going to be an interesting fight. I think we'll see where the heavyweight division's at. I think Gordon Ryan will have a close eye on that fight because I think he thinks he can go in there and take over that division. Yeah. So that's all that's really coming up in terms of any boxing or anything coming up.
There is one, Haney versus Linares. I'm interested in that. That's on the 29th, so it's a few weeks away.
Okay, it's a few weeks.
So, but that one should be that. It's a real test for Devin Haney, who's this up and comer. He's a world champion now, isn't he, Haney?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a world champion now fighting Linares. So it's a big test for him. I reckon Haney should win it. Might stoppage.
I got the Venezuelan.
Yeah, you reckon? Looks quality, good fight. I'm looking forward to that one.
We'll talk about that more when it comes up. Any
there is a fight I do want to just briefly touch on before we move on. Is Liam Smith fought a Russian, I forgot the Russian's name, on the weekend. World Championship fight.
Oh.
Yeah, middleweight. Went over to Russia to fight him. Apparently outboxed him comfortably. Didn't get the decision. Another rip-off in Russia. Yeah.
Wow.
What you expect? I mean, it's expected, but apparently looking for a rematch. But we'll see what happens there. Yeah, but that was for the world title.
But I'm still waiting for the rematch between Maloney and that other Mexican kid. Remember that he apparently headbutted him, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And that's the world of boxing. It's a very it's the world of sport. It is very polluted. Before we finish off, Pitbull's news.
Drew
2-0 in the A's.
B's won. Can't even remember. They won though.
And then the C's.
C's 1-2.
Who did you draw it against?
Sturt Marion.
And just quickly, just quick mention of sad news of C's great coach getting stepped down.
What? This is news to me.
Got the top. Look, no coach really gets sacked with what? I think it was 6-1, 6 wins, 1 loss. Then he got the sack.
Why'd they get the sack?
He's non-existent. He doesn't rock up the training. Doesn't coach.
So the team is basically winning themselves.
Yeah. And he's taking all the credit. He goes, "What? I've won 6 games and lost." Bloke, we've won the 6 games.
So shout out to our boy Benji. And just quick mention to my sponsors at El Monte. Guys, Spartan 15 code. So that's Spartan 15 for 15% off El Monte for your active wear, not just for the gym, but also for your everyday wear. So guys, jump onto El Monte on Instagram or on the internet and order some cool products. They also have women's and men's. So anything else to talk about, boys?
No, that's pretty much it. I think we're strapped
That's
for
all,
time
man.
anyway.
Just
Live free. You
stay-
know? We had police come round.
live clean or live clean?
Live
Nah, you live free. Yeah, actually, we didn't mention that. Actually, what I noticed when we first spoke about some of Lee's recent run-ins with the law,
Yeah.
he had a good run-in yesterday with a sergeant
Yeah.
who alleged to me and him that he doesn't have to give us his name and badge number,
Which
and-
is completely
a lie,
illegal.
which is a lie, and that's what makes me laugh about a lot of these like police officers.
They actually
I'm a
don't know.
fan of the police, don't get me wrong, but I'm a fan of the ones who do their job correctly.
properly, yeah.
Do not come onto our property, touch property, and then lie about the law and say that I don't
You're
have to
allowed
give you
to
my
do that,
name.
yeah.
But he's allowed to touch anything he wants and also arrest any of us.
And
I-
intimidate us for
you
no
know, I was
reason,
just
for
like,
no
come on,
grounds.
Man, like, are you serious? Are you a police officer, or are you here? Are you
Are
a
you a
gangster?
bully? You're
Yeah,
a bully?
So then Lee had a good chat with him, and he went on his way, and Sav was able to provide awesome music to the community
Yeah.
who loves listening to
loved
the
it,
music.
yeah.
We've got some people who live on the street who do have an issue with the music. I mean,
But it's 40 minutes long,
yeah,
you know,
it's
they
a
can
45
deal with
minute set at
in
3
the
o'clock
day,
in the
in the day.
afternoon. Yeah, you know what
you
I
know,
mean?
it's not in the night, which there's no issues, so I don't know what the
I mean,
problem
you know what
is.
I mean? I might start ringing up and complaining about the AFL that it's too loud,
Yeah.
and the lights are too bright, and you
Yeah.
know, we'll
And
just
it's
wave
too
everything
late.
close. Yeah,
You know?
it's too late at night, so why not? We'll just complain about everything these days.
Fair,
So
fair.
that was another victory by Lee Jenkins. Anything else to add to that?
Look, one thing I want to do in the future is I want to get somebody who knows what they're talking about in terms of crypto.
Oh, yeah.
Us three, we've got into the game
Yeah,
now.
we have, yeah,
We'll
we
get
have.
ripped off.
Yeah.
We're all.
Well, Dog's fucked us. We've been fucked by Dog.
no,
Look, Elon is a
Stay-
cunt.
no,
He's a
stay-
psychopath.
Stay hopeful, man. Stay hopeful because Doge is gonna come pay us real nice.
I'm with you on the Cardano one. Or
Yeah.
what's it?
I'm
Yeah,
only
yeah,
about
eight-
14
eighter.
grand in the hole, but I should be alright.
Yeah,
Gonna
look,
start a GoFundMe.
it's like honestly, everybody's talking about it now. Everybody's starting to get on it. So, you know, if you're still behind the game, I say get the fuck in on it.
Yeah,
Start doing
we
your
should have
research.
someone on.
But-
That'd be cool.
Before we start talking about these things, I want to get someone on that really understands it. Because at the moment, I think it's still very in its early stages where a lot of people don't really understand what it is.
I definitely don't understand.
Yeah,
what's
I've
going
got
on.
no idea.
So
I
I'd
don't really
like
care
to have a
know either.
real grasp. Well, I do.
I
'cause
know, I'd love to listen to someone talk, but at the same time, I don't care to learn myself.
Yeah.
If someone told
Like,
me about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
if someone advised me what to do.
Like Rick
Well,
was
look,
trying to
if
show me
it's-
before, and I was like, yeah, come
yeah, no, you completely just tuned off what I
Yeah.
was saying. So I was like, fuck him, fuck
He's
this cunt.
showing me, and I'm like,
But look, I truly do believe that it's the way of the future. I feel like it's you know.
well, the good thing
The
that I heard
trends-
about it, and the one thing I like about cryptocurrency is that a lot of people say it's the way of like the people getting back. Like people
Yes.
Yeah.
taking back from the central banks, the governments.
Yeah,
But-
it's a decentralization process of
But what
income.
we're starting to see is that the guys on the other side are getting into it as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's something that like, all right, if they're getting into it, why the fuck am I not going to get into it?
Yeah.
These guys just want to get richer.
Yeah.
I want in on some of
Right,
that shit as
right.
well. So
No,
it's like now it's
The only thing is, though, I don't want them to filter out cash through this way. Like,
Yeah.
I still think we should have
Yeah.
cash.
That is a
you know,
one.
and I
that
think this
one
is
big
what's
concern.
going on. I think they're
But-
pushing this in order to cut cash off.
but cash is traced. Like no, cash. This is still is not traceable.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms
Yeah.
this is still
Essentially, it
encrypted
does have
way.
that cash element to it. You're
Yes.
sort of saying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it can be.
Because if I'm trading through my bank account, then it's getting, you know, each transaction is getting, you know, it's got a history behind it. You can, it's traceable. Whereas this, if I'm paying for something, it's just I'm paying to another address, and that's just pretty much,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just in the digital world and
Yeah.
goes to die over there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much untraceable, which is
Well-
what I like.
Well, anyone who's listening out there, if you do have a really, really good understanding of crypto, the world about it, we'd love to have you on. Love
Yeah.
to talk to you
And if
about
we can enlighten our audience, every 51 of yous.
Yeah. So I think it was 52.
Yeah,
last
52. Hey, if we can get ahead of the game, why not? Get the listeners on board as well.
That's it. Yeah, have a listen, guys, because it is fun and interesting. It is actually quite interesting. I'm not, like I said, I'm not crazy about it, but I do love hearing about it.
Yeah.
Know what I love the most? You put like $100 in, and then you watch about 2 days later, your $100 has gone to 110. And you're just like,
I love it. No, you know what I love? I love, like, it's... No, but no one remembers... Do you remember the game Drug Dealer?
no,
No.
never met.
No one knows it. It was on your computer, and you buy and trade, like, different drugs, and you don't see nothing. Essentially, it's just like this. You can't see nothing. You know, nothing's there. There's no visual aid. It's purely just numbers. And I feel like this is just one big video game. It's a very interesting world. We're all buying nothing essentially, and
you are.
Earning.
yeah.
You are. You are buying.
What is it though?
So
I still can't gather what it is I'm buying. Data.
Yeah, no, you're buying. So yeah, pretty much data, like digital data.
Yeah.
This is what, from my understanding, take this with a grain of salt. So it's like you're buying like a part of a company, so to say. What these companies do, they're like banks.
Yeah.
All right. If I want to exchange money from my account into my cousin's account in Chile, it's going to take 4 to 5 business days. I need to sign it off at the bank. I need to put a reason why I'm sending this money. I need to declare it. I need to do everything. If I'm going to trade Bitcoin, I can get it to if my cousin's got a Bitcoin account, I can trade it from my account to his account, have no questions asked.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what amount it is.
Yeah.
And it could be there within half an hour, if not less.
Yeah.
All right. So that's essentially what you're buying. You're buying, they've got these guys' services.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's pretty much, that's what you're buying in. So like, Ether's.
But what are we buying? You shouldn't say.
It's pretty much you're just putting in money into like, you're buying
Little
pretty much like
slots.
stocks, so to say, in these
So you can
banks.
you can buy this Bitcoin, send that Bitcoin there, and then they can transfer that Bitcoin into cash and then take it out.
Yeah, it's like you're buying a currency belonging to this bank.
Yeah.
And what these
we need to simplify
like Ether, Cardano, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They're just all different types, and each what they're competing with is what's more secure, what's faster, so it's like, all right, these guys are more secure, more faster. It's
this one's decentralized. This
yeah.
one,
So it's like I'm gonna go with these guys because these guys, you're gonna have more companies trade with these guys over here. So the bigger companies and corporations are gonna go and trade with these guys. So their stock's gonna go up because more people are buying into that. So it's like it's just
Man, it's fucking great.
great. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
And what I've been told as well.
Yeah, that's what I've been told too.
Yeah. So if any one of yous out there want to jump on and explain and give us little tips and tricks and insider information, more than welcome on the show.
And also if you can make a couple million as well. All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you later.